Last time on MJ Sailing, we took advantage of a rental car for a day to do plenty of provisioning for our upcoming transatlantic passage. With our set of wheels, we also stopped at the beautiful Orient Bay on the northeast side of the island. Before returning to all the remaining boat projects like rearranging our interior, oil changes, and fueling up.
So a little insight into this episode. We filmed a segment and unfortunately we lost or deleted or something the video. But we had one issue before we left for the crossing was our Watermaker stopped functioning. We have always cruised since 2012. We've always had a Watermaker, working Watermaker. So it just became second nature that we had full tanks pretty much all the time. Never really had to think about water. Well, of course, the Watermaker fails right before we're about to do Atlantic crossing, which could be 30 days without being able to fill up. We checked a few things. I ended up rebuilding one of the pumps, the feed pump. That wasn't it. I ended up checking the drive pump, which is kind of like a Clark base pump, kind of like what they have on a Spectra, and found there's a seal that had went bad, had a little tear in it. Unfortunately, being in St. Martin, there wasn't really the opportunity to get a new seal. It's a weird metric size that I've never really seen before, and I can't even find it on the internet, so it must not really exist. Do we get a sent from Spain quickly to St. Martin and try to rebuild it, or do we just fill up our tanks and go? So after a quick, about 2-second discussion, we decided, no, we're just going to go. There was really no reason that we had to wait for it. Right now we carry about 60 gallons of water in our 2 tanks. Not a huge amount, but again, we always were able to supplement that with a Watermaker, so it was never a big deal. So what we ended up doing is, of course, we filled our 2 tanks. Then we ended up buying things of 1-liter bottles of water. I hate all the plastic, but the availability of it, the ease of being able to carry the 1 liters, store them were a lot easier than like big jugs, and we didn't want to buy water jerry cans of 5-gallon jugs because this was going to be the one time we were going to use them. The other nice thing is when you get to the Azores, they have phenomenal recycling, so we knew that at least these plastic bottles that we're gathering were going to be able to be recycled later on. And it makes it easy to use. You just take one out, throw it in the fridge, and then drink it as needed. And it allows us to control and make sure that we're regulating how much water we're drinking. Yeah, we ended up getting 90 liters of, ooh, that sounds bad. Were they 1.5 liters?
They were 1.5 liters.
They're actually 1.5 liters. We ended up getting 90 liters worth of water bottles, and then filled up our 2 tanks and kind of set sail with that. And now back to our Atlantic crossing.
It is now departure day. Woohoo! We are finally getting out of St. Martin and we're headed over to the Azores. Rum line is 2,200 miles, but because we have straight east winds coming and this boat doesn't point for crap, we'll probably have to head directly north until we hit the high, and then we'll catch the winds coming from the southwest and ride them up the rest of the way. But we still haven't been able to fill our water tanks yet. Our friends on Calico Sky said they had somebody from Marigot Bay come out to their boat, and the guy just has a supply of water that he pumps into your tanks, but he's not working today. So we are going to up anchor, and instead of paying the fee and going into the lagoon to go to like Island Water World again, we're just going to sail around to Marigot Bay on the north side. Pretty much headed that direction anyway, and there's Fort Louis Marina out in the bay, so we don't have to go into the lagoon at all. Gonna fill up the tanks and then be on our way, the Azores bound. Anchor is going up, and I am trying to guide us out of here with our new spray guard. Not the best to see through right now, but it's going to come in really, really handy over the next 3 weeks. Well, St. Martin, until next time. We seem to have managed to get out of the harbor okay, and right now we're running on our head sail. So we're going to go around the southwest side of St. Martin, come up on its west side, and then just around the corner is Marigot. So then hopefully it's a nice ride there. We can get into the marina quick, fill up our tanks, and be off by mid-afternoon. After a very swift sail around the west side of St. Martin, it was time to beat our way southeast into Marigot Bay and make our way into the marina. Our last little taste of civilization.
It is. So I'm soaking it up right now. Should have like the radio on or something.
I know. Pop open a beer.
Yeah. Water tanks are full. Still not loving the fact we don't have a working Watermaker. Yeah. So I'm already sweaty and I'd love nothing more than just to shower off randomly as needed. And not having to conserve water is not fun.
That's terrible. Should be overboard.
Yeah. There you go. Come back salty.
Yeah. So now we just need the dock master to come back, shove us off, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Azores, here we come. Look more excited.
Or Ireland. Straight to Ireland. It's quicker.
I know it's quicker, but I miss my Azores.
Exiting the marina, we were now on our way, for good. Departing on our third transatlantic crossing, we were only 4 hours behind our friends on Calico Skies, and 2,200 miles from our landfall in Horta. Winds are getting very light. Think we're on the outer edge of the Bermuda Azores High. Still good speeds at night, averaging 6 to 6.5 knots. And no seasickness. Yay!
We are on day 4 of our trip to the Azores right now, just about 72 hours in, and if you can see behind me, we have lost all of our wind. We kind of knew it was going to happen within our first few days. The Bermuda Azores High, which is this high pressure system spanning from Bermuda all the way to the Azores. Thought I saw a dolphin. Nope. Leaves this area without any wind, so where the trade easterlies come into the Caribbean, it kind of goes in a clockwise motion, and at the center there's no wind, and then once we get past it, the wind will be coming out of like the southwest and then the west, which will really help us get a nice course. But since, I don't know, 6 o'clock this morning, we've had the engine running because we were going at 2.5 knots. But otherwise, it's actually been pretty good so far. Really comfortable. I don't know if it's because I've been taking pills or if it's just because of the easy ride, but I haven't gotten sick at all, and that's a big bonus. It is insanely hot. like I just had to put a shirt on for this because otherwise we're just run around without anything on. And any little breeze, we just keep moving ourselves to the back of the cockpit because it's just stifling down below, and it's stifling right by the companionway. So, yeah, we're just trying to keep ourselves cool, keep ourselves hydrated, and motor through this high, which, how many miles would you say, Matt, till we get through it?
We have another probably 200 miles to get through, all the way through it. We should be able to start picking up wind at about 100, maybe more, 150.
I think tomorrow night, maybe. The wind's supposed to start filling in.
So it really sucks being forced to run the engine right now because we have no breeze. It's incredibly hot and humid, actually. And then the engine, of course, puts out a ton of heat. So it's a lot of ambient heat coming up this area in the cockpit and, of course, inside the cabin. The nice part is we're actually able to leave our hatches open because there's no chance of actually getting sprayed with salt water at all because, as you can see, there's no waves or anything right now. So there's kind of a balance. And then, of course, our Watermaker not working, and we're having our first time really having to conserve water. We haven't really done that before because we've always made our own. So now we really don't know how fast we're going to use it or not. So we're not bathing as much as we would like. Sweating, gross and nasty, and not bathing with fresh water. We are doing little saltwater baths and then a little quick freshwater rinse, but that really doesn't have the same effect as having Watermaker. I greatly miss that item. Yeah, so it's a shame not having it. It definitely changes the feeling of the trip. I like being clean and being able to spray off the cockpit and get rid of the salt.
One of the bonuses to know one is it looks like a really cool, like surreal painting behind us. So like when there's no lack of wind, at least there's pretty water to look at, and you get like the starburst of color from the depths of the ocean.
Like, you seen the Dali effect, the melting clocks and stuff?
Yeah, from, Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Now the sail's starting to flog. Fun times with no wind.
Well, this is the weather when we caught our big mahi last time. There's nothing.
There is nothing.
Except for that grass still.
It's a whole lot of beautiful nothing.
But it still has that grass. It's everywhere. That's so strange.
Still a ton of seaweed in the water. I have found a little bit of solace up here on the deck where right now the mainsail and the boom are kind of giving me a little bit of shade, and any breeze we get from basically the apparent wind that we're making from motoring forward, it's just enough to keep me cool. Starting to wonder if we should take the main down though. You can just hear it flogging. It's driving me crazy. But pretty soon Matt's going to lay down for his afternoon nap to prepare himself for his night watch, so that means I'm going to have to go back to the cockpit because we don't want either of us to be out on the deck alone while the other person's below, just in case, unless you're in your harness. Just kind of a bummer because this is a nice little spot, and every now and then I'll see a flying fish, which looks so cool with it coming up and skimming the surface and then going back under. It's like a skipping stone. So. But when Matt gets up again, we're going to put the boat in neutral to stall it, put down the swim platform, take some baths, and finally get clean. Engine is off and it is bath time. We have just stalled ourselves out. I mean, we would have been stalled without the engine anyway. And the platform is down. Water is glass calm, and time to get ourselves clean.
We're not actually jumping in. That's just crazy. There could be sharks down there.
You're not gonna take the plunge in?
No, you are?
Maybe grabbing onto the ladder, I don't know.
Well, you go right ahead, lady.
You want me to be first?
I was going to use the bucket approach.
Bucket wash?
Yeah.
Oh, let me dangle my foot. Clear that water is. Oh. Is it salty fresh? Is this the part where I tell you there's like a giant shark swimming your way because you can't see?
Jokes.
Jokes.
So
jokes,
funny.
Jokes.
So funny. Woo!
Yeah, it's still a little rocky and rolly.
Oh my god, that's so freaking hot.
Oh, because the engine's been on all day?
Yeah.
Boiling hot. Maybe save the freshwater rinse for sunset.
I should be sitting down for this as well. Here, you take that out.
Gotta get all my shower supplies. It's like a spa day. I'm having a mineral salt bath with a reverse osmosis cleanse. Oh, this water is nice.
It's freaking warm.
It is warm. See, but unlike you, I'm dangling my feet in.
Dangerous.
So something's gonna come eat me. Just wait till a piece of seaweed comes under the boat and freaks my ass out.
Uh-huh.
No, disgusting seaweed. Bathing in the middle of the Atlantic in flat, calm waters. Well, this probably has to be one of the prettiest spots I've ever bathed. Even in the tropics, still under a hot shower. So we are clean and we're able to conserve some of our fresh water in our tanks. I wish I could say that we could do it again in a few days, but who knows if conditions will still be the same. So, may have been our only platform bucket bath of the trip.
Join us for the next episode of MJ Sailing, where we find our way out of the high pressure system and continue on our way to the Azores. Matt celebrates his birthday on board, and we even reel in a mahi as a nice treat to celebrate.
This video is another Abaco sunglass giveaway. Same rules as always. Leave a comment in the comment section, anything you want. And in 1 week, from the date published, we'll end up drawing a winner. And just see the rules in the description box.